right, so my name is Njoroge Joseph. I'm a lecturer here at USIU in the Department of Psychology and Family Studies. I've been here in terms of working as a therapist or slash counselor for 20 plus years. So I've done it for a long time. I have keen interest in areas of trauma and substance use because I've come across that quite a bit. And I feel, especially substance abuse, does mess up families a lot. So I have a kind of a soft spot for that area. But I also work generally in all other areas pertaining to psychology and mental health issues in our society.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that elaborate description on who you are and what you do. And in light of that, in light of your deep connection or your heart that goes towards addiction,
Mhm.
what would you say the current state of men's mental health is?
I would say not very good because of a number of things. First of all, culturally,
Mhm,
men are supposed to be strong.
mhm,
Men are supposed to be in their family, they're supposed to be the leaders, the ones to show the way. But then society, the way it is, it's become quite rough, sometimes quite uh, can be quite violent sometimes.
mhm,
It also has problems, physical problems, economic problems, which pits some men into on a collision course with their own mental health.
mhm,
As such, men tend to struggle because culturally, men are supposed to, like the way the British say, to keep that stiff upper lip,
yes.
not to cry, not to show emotions, not to show even being affected. They
Mhm,
should just be macho, what you might call like a braggadocio kind of attitude,
mhm,
that I'm a man, I should be able to deal with this. So what happens in the event a man is unable?
mhm.
That's where the mental health now comes in, because they will not be able to, they will not want help.
Yeah.
They're in a problem,
Mhm,
they don't want help because they feel like it's a shaming for a man to ask for assistance,
mhm.
which could be a cultural thing.
Yes.
I think it is. And then also there is the dictums, not spoken, that men are not supposed to cry, men are not supposed to get overwhelmed by issues. Men should always be on top of things. But as you can hear, that's not very realistic. Yeah.
Mhm,
Like, for example, now a man in Gaza seeing that the whole family bombed.
mhm.
How is he supposed to stay strong in such a situation? Because
Yes.
he'll break down. He's a human being.
Mhm,
Yeah. So that's the challenge I see, that men bottle up things. They don't talk even among themselves. There is, how will my colleagues see me if I tell them I'm struggling here? So someone will put up a face in front of people, and then privately they'll go and suffer.
mhm. Okay, so I can see that men's state of mental health and general functioning is embedded in the culture and social expectations
Mm.
and everything in between. So I'm curious, what trends are you seeing amongst men who recognize this and are actually seeking some support?
I've seen a few, which is positive. Men who realize there's a problem and they seek help. They come see therapists. Very few, but I've seen, which I thought was a positive trend. A man who seeks help for his own sake of his own mental health and the mental health and the well-being generally, to so to speak, of his own family.
Mhm,
So I've seen that, which is a positive trend. But generally, the trend I see is one where men just either go into drinking, go into using substances, go into violence, in trying to control things, and so they're very angry. Most of the time, they're angry, so they relate to their families with anger. Yeah,
Mhm.
which is not productive.
Why would you say men lack emotional support systems? Because I'm looking at women who might be struggling with the same thing,
Mm.
but they do have some sort of support system before resorting to the alcohol and drugs. So why would you say men lack these support systems?
Yeah, it's interesting. Men, we keep things bottled up.
Mhm,
I could be with my, I've had people, I was with him, he was falling apart,
mhm,
he didn't say a word. I come to learn later when he has done something. But you see, women, they'll talk. A woman will meet her friend and tell her, imagine this is happening. No, and they'll share, and say, go into details about what's happening. And so by so doing, they get a cathartic effect. They
mhm,
get a catharsis. They're able to offload, even if it's not a professional. But men, they bottle things up. They don't speak.
mhm,
And so when they do things, like here, I remember one time as a colleague here, I met him. I used to have an ID that was very outdated. He would tell me, you with this thing, you have to come and get another one. So one time I would say, yeah, I'll come. Then one time he caught me near those sides. The administration told me, no, I can't leave you. We went. He gave me a new ID. See, very helpful.
mhm.
Then I came back. He didn't say, I smelled a whiff of alcohol a bit. I wondered, but see, again, as a man, I couldn't ask, hey, how come I'm smelling this on you? I kept quiet out of respecting his space. But only for later for me to hear he went and committed suicide.
Mm,
I'm like, oh my God.
mm,
I wish I had asked, I wish we had spoken. What happened?
mhm,
You see, so he didn't say. And that's typical. Men will keep quiet. They'll have problems with the wife. They don't say, they don't tell their family, they don't tell their friends. They are with it trying to figure out a way out. And when that doesn't come, their world now crowds them in, crowds them in. And so every once in a while you'll hear someone went berserk and did something to his family. Someone who got in a car and went now on a rampage with it. Someone now is drinking very badly. And when you look at all this, it's because there is an underlying problem that this man is not able to talk about.
I see, I see. And that underlying problem, I assume is what leads to all of these kinds of eruptions.
Yeah.
And just from a psychological point of view, that seems to be a consequence of chronic emotional suppression.
Mm,
So, I mean, it's unfortunate about your colleague who committed suicide.
mm,
And I'm just thinking, what other consequences could there be of chronic emotional suppression? Of course, suicide is the most extreme,
yeah.
but what are these possible signs to look out for?
One of them could be depression. People get depressed. They shut down. They're not able to. Their joy of life like is not there. People get into substances. They get into using substances a lot. People get into activity, also addictions. Like you'll have a man with serial relationships. He's thinking, it's if I get into this one, it'll make me feel good. And so while they're chasing, it feels good, but then afterwards it doesn't, it's like a bad taste in the mouth. So some go into that, some even into activities like addiction, others go into work. And then when you look at all that, what the impact it has is the body. You find pressure is up for some men, have high pressure. They have ulcers. They have, psychosomatic, other psychosomatic problems or illnesses caused by psychological reasons. because they're not able to share about what is going on. Yeah, so that's quite common. Men who are going through all these other things. Men might also isolate, withdraw, and for men, it's difficult to catch it because men don't really talk a lot. I'll have a friend, a man, we've been together for 5 years. I don't even know where he works because I can't ask him, what do you do? It feels like a bit invasive. So we talk, hey, did you watch football yesterday? Because it's now World Cup. Yeah. It went well, Argentina, this, that, Messi. We talk, we have fun. But I don't even know where he works. I don't even know what he does. Because I don't ask as a man. I don't, but if it is ladies, they'll ask, by the way, what do you do? And they'll share. So you see, there's a sense in which I really actually don't even know them that deeply. I know them, but not up to a point. Yeah. And that makes people feel like, I have to deal with things by myself. I can't now bring this up with a friend. It's awkward.
Going back to your earlier point about simply talking,
Yeah.
Men don't talk as much, but we've clearly seen the benefit of talk therapy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the main form of therapy in all of these psychological centers. And there are a number of benefits to just simply engaging in talk therapy.
Yeah.
But from what I've been getting, it's a lot of coping mechanisms that men are resorting to, and negative coping mechanisms at that.
Yeah.
So if we were to dig a little deeper and strive to identify the biggest contributor to these mental distresses today amongst men, what would you say they would be?
I would say, first of all, economically, men struggle. The economy, everybody's talking about it, the struggle there. So a man who's not able to provide for the family, some men might feel ashamed, some men might feel less than, and some women will tell them, what kind of a man are you? Why don't you go out like other men? So that could be one contributor. Men also, will have issues with their family, with wives and so on. And sometimes they don't know how, since they don't know, some don't know how to talk and bring things up, things pile up, issues, until they get so convoluted, they don't know where to begin. So the only way to begin is to be disruptive or violent or issue ultimatums. Men also come from families. And some of these families of origin are dysfunctional. Maybe they got hurt as children. They didn't grow in a very emotionally supportive environment. And that will make men, not want to talk, because again, in those families, they have these rules that they go by, one of which is don't talk. Don't talk about things that really hurt you. Don't talk about that. Don't feel. Learn to numb out, because if you feel and express, you'll be hurt more in this environment. So learning to shut down, don't trust, and then don't be spontaneous. So these very things get in the way of their being able to express themselves. And so that becomes now another source of problems, because it's something that happened which they need to process, but they are not processing. Yeah. And so it's going to impact the other relationship they have, like their children, like their wife, like so on. And then it gets completely out of hand. Yeah. And since they don't want to talk about it, it festers. Yeah. So that would be something else. People, sometimes human beings, struggle with identity, especially in a culture that is materialistic. Unfortunately, like Kenya, where if you have more material things, it could mean that you're more successful than the person with the less. Since that's not necessarily true, but that's how we see things as a society. So if I don't have an identity, I don't know who I am, I'll feel less than. I'll feel disturbed if I look at what is going on around me. And I see. The other day, one man was telling me He's now ready to make money. The end justifies the means. I'm like, what? You want to commit crime? What you say? You know, because it's like a pressure. He has to do it so that he can be like other people. And since there's no identity, he thinks if I get these things, then I'll be someone, which is just a setup. He'll get there, and then he feels even emptier. And he has to do even more crazy things.
Definitely a number of myths, a number of stereotypes, a number of family of origin issues, socialization issues. But because we are living in that society today, what support do you think makes the biggest difference for men?
So I think, you see, culturally, there were safety nets. People had these recas. And if the other men noticed one of their colleagues is withdrawing, and so they would say, hey, what's going on? We notice you don't want to be with us. We call you, you don't come. What's the issue? You see, now in the absence of that, I think men need to now, because society has changed, like you said, need to make use of mental health organizations, counseling, going to talk about it. Nowadays, unfortunately, with AI, people want to go to chat GPT and you type there, oh, this, and then it tells you things. But you see, that's not similar to talking to a human being. And a chat GPT can't challenge you, can't say, I noticed this, you're saying this, I noticed this. It will just give you feedback based on what you've entered. And some want to do that to avoid this one-on-one. But that's something that is there. People can use. Some people can go, some churches nowadays you can go talk to your priest or your pastor. And if he's professional, he'll point you out in the direction. Some who know what they're doing, they'll say this is not a spiritual or religious thing. I think what you're dealing with is psychological. So I've had a few men sent to me by my priest, which I thought was very good. So that a person can go. But you see, the bottom line is talk about it. Talk about it even with your friend. Human beings, we go through problems. It's not a weakness. It's just being human. When you're human, you will have struggles every once in a while. You'll have successes, obviously, but you'll also have struggles sometimes. And so to not be ashamed, to seek help. A man can to tell the wife, look, I'm struggling with this. I'm going through a difficult time. I don't know what to do. Those are very simple words, but to say them to a wife, because again, the identity. How will she see me? She'll think I'm defeated. She'll think I'm weak. She'll think this. I can't do that to myself. I can't do that. So you see, because again, a family. If you have a good rapport with your wife, you can share, and then from there you'll begin to brainstorm things you can do to deal with whatever it is that is disturbing you.
And you had mentioned your practice. And as we move towards the end of this discussion, what habits do you think people can do by themselves? And maybe what habits have you been recommending your clients to do at your practice?
Because most people are very stressed. Most people are on a treadmill. So I do recommend sometimes relaxation. I do recommend they get into like meditation, make it a ritual to kind of every hour, 30 minutes a day to kind of do something to quiet themselves down. I do recommend also some to go visit the gym, exercise. Yeah. I do recommend also for them to pay attention to their mental health and to not be afraid to go for counseling. In fact, I do tell them, because people think, oh, I can't come. People will think I'm crazy. I'm insane. I've lost it. Why do I need to go see someone? So I tell them, no, 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 no. Someone who is what you call crazy can't go for counseling because they have no insight. They don't even know they have a problem. A person who seeks help is sane. Is very sane because he's saying, "Look, I sense, I have this awareness that things aren't as well as they should be, and I need to sort them out, especially to do with my mental health." That's sanity. That's a sane behavior. But many people have the opposite. They'll say, how can people see me coming from here? They'll think I'm, they show you this. They think I'm crazy. So I tell them, no. You have awareness. You have insight. You know something is wrong. What you're calling crazy, a person doesn't know that. So they can't seek out counseling. So that's another thing, to remove the stigma around mental health. Yeah, mental health, that it's there. It's very prevalent. People will hide. I had even a client saying, when the guys were going out, they look, they say, wait, I can't come and face that person. Let them go fast. Because they can't see me coming from here. Yeah, I'm like, I was thinking, why does it matter in any way? It's like, if I have a stomachache, I won't feel ashamed to go to the clinic and say, I think I've had food poisoning, please help me. They'll give me something. They tell me, go take this. It'll help you. Or I have a headache. But why is it that if it's a mental health issue, I'm not sleeping, I'm worried, I'm afraid all the time, I don't know what's going on with me? Why is it that that's now something I need to hide? That I'm ashamed of it? And it's just an issue with my mind. Just like it I can have an issue with a limp or something like that. Yeah. So these are the things people need to, I would suggest. Seek help when you feel under the weather.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Njoroge. Very insightful. And before I let you go, I just want you to tell our viewers, specifically the men, just one word of encouragement, one word of hope that you'd like them to just keep on thinking about as they go on with their lives.
Yeah, that yes, you can overcome. You can overcome. Don't hide. Seek help. To seek help, a real man seeks help. A real man knows when they are struggling and seeks help. Pretending, acting as if is not helpful. It makes things worse. Don't using substances again won't help because you don't deal with the issue. It's just covering it up. I go drink so that I forget. I cover up. So seek help when you need it. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and knowledge that I'm floundering now. I have an issue now. I need to sort it out.
I see. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Njoroge.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the work you're doing and for your interest in Basse. I know you're interested in everybody else,
Yes.
but for your interest in the men,
Yes.
the mental, because these are the guys struggling more.
Definitely.